Hello. What's up, nerds? And what's up, babies? My, my. How's it going? We're gonna start building this guy, and let's just get right into it. Yeah, yesterday on live last night, I said I was gonna do the narrative Gundam C packs today, but I decided to do this instead, and we'll do the narrative Gundam C packs maybe tomorrow. Yeah, how's this? Some parts not really gonna fit on camera very well. I have my camera a little bit higher than usual to help with that, but yeah, obviously we got some big bits that we're gonna be working with here today, and I should grab my other set of nippers as well. I wish you guys could kind of see my setup here. I have like the two inner boxes, you know. If you guys saw in the unboxing, one's like here on this side, and the other one is here on this side. So I'm like flanked by these huge boats full of runners on each side here. But I want to grab these other nippers. Can get around there. So, how's everyone going? My alert says HGR Jarja. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll try to fix that next time. Sorry about that. Let's start. First off, we build this kind of inner frame part. I was trying to think, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure the first Neo Zeong, I streamed the entire build of that too, didn't I? Do you guys remember? Sure, you could very easily just search and look it up, but I'm pretty sure I did. So it's gonna be kind of like a little bit rehashed. But this one's different, right? It's white now. What's that meme with the meme with Lisa Simpson and the Barbie? Isn't it? Like with the what's the difference with this Barbie or something, and like this one comes with the something. What's that meme? You guys know what I'm talking about. The Lisa Simpson different Barbie meme. Yeah, could apply that meme to this. Not really too much point to spending too much time cleaning up nubs on a part like this, because it's all going to be covered up, of course. So yeah, I haven't done any nub removal ahead of time on this, so I will have to spend some time of the stream here doing that, cleaning up nubs as we're going along. So it's going to be a slower process than the recent streams that I've been doing, where I've been doing all of this ahead of time. So sorry for that. So it's going to be a little bit slower of a process, but for a big boy like this, we want to take our time, right? So how are you guys all doing? Did you actually see Narrative? I actually have not seen Narrative except for like the clip that you could watch on YouTube. So no, I haven't seen it yet actually. I'm not sure if it played here in Korea or not. Alex is there in the chat again. Hi Alex, how are you doing? Alex, do you know if it played here in Korea in the theaters at all? I imagine it probably played in select theaters, maybe, or it's not, or not yet. I actually asked my wife about it. I asked her to check, like on just like some Korean blogs or something like that to check and see if it was playing anywhere or not. I think she said it like hadn't played yet, so like maybe they're still working on like a Korean dubbing version of it or something like that, and that's what they're gonna have. So that's why it hasn't played yet. Akito, hello. How's it going? Yeah, Alex says it didn't release here yet, so If I can, hopefully I'll be able to watch it in the theater here in Korea. I don't know if it'll be subtitled. If it's playing in the theater, it'll probably be subtitled rather than dubbed. But it's strange that it hasn't played yet. But yeah. Alright, so this one is the front piece. I think this one is exactly the same. So this is just kind of like our main inner structural piece here. And then this one here. At this point, it's likely that you're just going to have to wait for the home release in May. Well, I guess so. I don't really buy DVDs or Blu-rays, though, so I don't know if I'll get that either. I mean, yeah, this other part here, too. It's just like, if I remember correctly, this is the part which is just used for when you have it not with the fuel tanks on. When you have it like with the fuel tanks off in like the lower position, you just use this bit. So like this is something we'll just like use way later. The thing that I'm not looking forward to is that my Neo Zeong, the regular one, the first one, is packed up. And I'm gonna have to take it out and put it back together, because like you know how you can pack it. If you guys have seen my review, or I don't know who else has reviewed it. I know Kakarot reviewed it and also showed that in his review as well. But in the manual, it shows you how to pack up the pieces back in the box, like in a certain way, so that all the pieces fit like really nicely inside the box. And so it's packed up like that. It's all disassembled into like big chunks and packed up. So it's going to be quite the process to do this review, but hey, for a big kit like this, you gotta take the time and do the review right? I have to show a comparison. It just wouldn't be a proper review of this kit if I didn't show a comparison to the original, right? And when you have a kit like this epic, and it's probably going to get pretty minimal coverage on YouTube. I did see, and a lot of people did point out to me, I actually hadn't noticed this until people pointed it out, but apparently Mecha Gaikatsu is also working on his as well, so he'll also be reviewing it, I suppose. But pretty sure, I don't remember, but pretty sure he doesn't have the first one, so I think it'll probably be up to me to show a comparison between the two. Not that there's really anything to see, but I'm sure if I don't show a comparison between the two of them, people will just lose their minds. Hasaki Art, hello. So how are you guys all doing on this Tuesday Eve, or Tuesday morning, or Tuesday midday, wherever you are? Suddenly craving some chocolate milk. W for W. This is runner W. Actually, that was a surprise. Didn't think I pulled out the right runner straight away. You know, like when you first start building a kit, you're not really very familiar with which runner is which. But then, like after you go through a few steps, you kind of remember which runners are which, and you kind of don't even have to check the runner label. You just remember like, oh, which one is the B, C, D runner, like that. With this one, with the number of runners that it has, not sure about that. Some gates on this are really thick. Actually don't need this base part quite yet, but I just want to cut it out because we're here. Because we're here now. These are the pieces we actually need at the moment. What about that one? That's used much later, right? Okay, anyway. Anything else from the W runner in the near future? No, I'm going to go ahead and put that back then. Somewhere around there. W should be around there, I guess. Golenvox, due to the size of the runners, do you think you can make MG stands out of them like people do for HG stands? I mean, the runners themselves, I mean, some of the runners are pretty thick. Like this one, like normal runners usually get up to about 3 millimeters diameter, like thickness of the actual tree. This one's probably more, this one's probably 4, probably not, might even be 5. So, I mean, it'd be a little bit more substantial than your normal runner. Some of these runners are quite thick. But still, to be able to hold up an MG, I wouldn't really trust it. It would still be kind of wobbly. I just also want to put these couple of parts together here for the base while we're here. And some of these really gigantic gates on some of these parts are just murder. Zach, which MG should I buy? GNX, Exia, or Jesta? Well, I haven't built the Master Grade GNX, and I've only built variations of the Jesta and the Exia, so take that into consideration. I've only built the Jesta Cannon, and I've only built other versions of the Master Grade Exia, not the original, but I would say, based on what I know of the kits, though, you can't really go wrong with any of this. The Jesta is pretty widely regarded as one of the best Master Grades out there that you can get. The GNX, I know a lot of people do kind of complain about it. It does have some stability issues. That said, I always think that the kit does look good. So I mean, if you can get over the fact that it might have a little weak ankles or something like that. But people complain about that about the Exia as well. So I don't know. Between the three, I mean, I think you probably couldn't go wrong with any of those. Molga, thank you, sir, for the videos. Thank you, Molga. Really appreciate that. Are you actually Korean, or did you just make a Korean name? Danke, sir, for the videos. By the fact you're saying danke, sir, for the videos, it doesn't sound like a very Korean thing to say, but Molga being a Korean name, I'm a bit curious there. What's going on, guys? Some more people coming into the chat saying hello. Hello, hello, hello to everyone. Got some really dank nubs I'm trying to just get rid of on this giant base piece here. Anyway, how does this go? Like this, right? I don't remember. Like that. So as you guys saw in the promo image I put up for the stream today, I had that Kotobukiya Hatsune Miku kit, and so just before doing this, I was recording the review for that. So tomorrow I'll upload my unboxing and review videos for. Sorry for the noise. Tomorrow I'll upload my unboxing and review videos for that Frame Arms Girl Miku kit. And just to give you guys a little preview, I actually didn't mention this really, and I didn't talk about this in the review, but I'll just let you guys know for any of you who may be interested. While I was building the kit, I was actually, to be honest, a little bit disappointed with it actually. There's a couple issues. Thank you, Golden Box, for the shiny triangle. Yeah, there's a couple of just like fitting issues, like in the torso especially. I did mention that in the review for Miku, but and like the proportions were just a bit weird. Didn't really seem to fit the character that well. So when I was building, I was actually feeling like a little, this is not really as nice as I was really expecting. I wasn't really enjoying it as much as I was expecting to. I'm not a fan of Miku at all, so I wasn't going into it like all super excited because I really love Miku or something. I actually just thought it just looked like a cool kit. But then after, like, whilst doing the review and like going through like putting it in poses and stuff for the review, I actually then started to like it more again. It does look a lot better when it's posed up. So look forward to that review tomorrow if that's something that you're interested in. And Skyers the Limit said, do you think we'll get more Iron Blood Orphans 100 scale kits? I don't think we'll get any more of like the non-grade 100 scale kits like we did before, like the full mechanics, and before they were called full mechanics. I don't think we're gonna get any more of those, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility of us getting some sort of master grade from the line. Obviously, I think if we're gonna get anything, it's gonna be the Barbatos. Your guess is as good as mine as to which form of the Barbatos it's gonna be. But I think it's probably safe to assume that we're probably going to get a Master Grade Barbatos at some point. Yang Ma said, what about Ultraman 7.5 kit? Will you review it? Yeah, actually, it's here. I actually got the kit, and I've got it all the nubs cleaned up, so I'm ready to live stream that. What I'm thinking I'm going to do maybe tomorrow, or I don't know, maybe tomorrow we'll probably stream again, a continuation of this, but then later whenever I stream the live build of the narrative C-Packs, I'll probably do like a dual build. I'll build the narrative C-Packs and the Ultraman 7.5 kit together in the same stream. That's probably what I'll do. So yeah, I'll be building that kit and reviewing it very soon. I already went through and did all the cleanup work and everything on that, getting it ready. So it's kind of interesting here for like the big shoulder parts. It has you like go through building like the entire thing, like all the parts and everything for one shoulder, finishing that, and then you go over and then build all the other stuff around the other shoulder. So it's kind of weird that they don't have you like doing it at the same time. But whatever the case, just to save me the trouble of having to go back to the runners again, I'm going to cut out all the parts I need for both shoulders and just keep them separated. So there's those we're going to use for now, and while I've got the runner here, I'll just cut out the parts I need for the opposite shoulder. Set those over here to the side. Here we go. Our first runner down. First runner done and dusted. Toss that over there in a pile. Start a pile anyway. What's up, Spider2K2? How's it going, dude? I will say this: masking off the GPO4 tanks for the RE100 is a pain in the ass. Yeah, I hate masking, and like even that's like not like the most intricate masking ever, but it was still a pain in the ass, especially for someone like me who just doesn't like masking at all. So I feel your pain, bro. WG. These parts here are new red parts. WG1, 2. This one. Sorry. I just chugged a bunch of water before coming on the stream. Sorry about that. Oh, and don't spell my account name. It's not Chinese. It's a stupid name. Oh. Anyway, alright. Nightmare has begun. I use masking to shape stars on my mall. Diego, if English is not your best language, I mean, feel free to write in whatever language you want there in the chat. But if no one else is also communicating with you, then hey, Noodly Dude, thank you. What is your main inspiration for paint schemes? Ooh, that's a good question. What's my main inspiration for paint schemes? Let me marinate on that for a minute. What is my main inspiration for paint schemes? I don't know. It's kind of, it depends on the, it really depends on the kit. No doubt, like that's the main thing. It really just depends on the kit. So it's kind of hard to say. WI 418. What? WI 1 4. 4 and 18. But I mean, I get a lot of inspiration for a lot of stuff, especially like from like Machine and Krieger. Yeah, that would be one. Just like Machine and Krieger kits, especially for like some of the later things. But I don't know. You wouldn't really see it much in my work, but I don't know. You wouldn't really see like a whole lot of that. It's not really very apparent, I don't think. But yeah, I do get a lot of inspiration from just Machine and Krieger kits. That's why I'm kind of I have a few Machine and Krieger books, and I really like those. 14, let's see, 14, 11, and 9. Yeah. Don't need the heavy duty nippers for these smaller parts. I'm just going to damage the parts here. And for the opposite side. WI 117. Amin Osman. Hello, what's up? How are you? Hey Zach, any advice for me? My MG Freedom 2.0 leg has fallen off. The pin has snapped into the poly cap in the leg. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, I get what you mean, essentially. They're on Twitch. Snake is asking about how to fix the peg. on a strike freedom. Let's see, 10, 12, 13. Or was it strike freedom? What did you say? MG freedom 2.0. What I would say probably is just get figure out what the diameter is and get a set of plastic rod that's the same diameter and glue that, and then I don't know if the plastic rod is hollow, because I imagine it would have to be, because the diameter for that, just if I had to guess, it's like 4 millimeters or something like that, 4 or 5 millimeters. And so the tube will probably be hollow, whatever plastic tube you get for that. And so probably what you have to do is then maybe like glue that, and also like put in a metal rod in the center, and then you can maybe even just like pack that with some epoxy putty as well, just to make sure it's really super strong. I can't remember exactly what the part looks like, so it's kind of hard to say. WH. What's going on, Ricardo? I haven't checked my messages, but did you check my message, Ricardo? I sent you a message. What was it that I needed? WH, that's right. WH 2 and 4 for this guy. Average Dude asks, are you gonna paint it? Well, as my standard reply goes, yes, someday. But no, in all honesty, I would like to not paint this one, but I would like to paint both of them. But I mean, like in the near future, I would like to paint up the original one, the red one, sometime maybe later this year. It's something that I'm thinking a lot about. It's on my mind for sure. If and when I can get to that is yet to be seen, but it's something that I'm thinking about. And actually, speaking of Machine and Krieger inspiration, the paint scheme that I have in mind for it is a like Machine and Krieger style paint scheme. So I don't know if you've seen the tank. What's that? What's that Machine Krieger tank kit called? It's called the Nutcracker, if I remember correctly. And I think it was, I can't remember whose build it was, whether it was Koyokoyama's or Max's build of that, but I think it's like the main color scheme, or like one of the recommended color schemes for that kit has like the gray, like the multi-tone gray kind of like triangle block camo pattern on it, if you guys have any idea what I'm talking about. That's how I would like to paint up the Neo Zeong, like that. Noodly Dude asks, how easy was transition from spray can to airbrush? Another good question, actually. So, the transition from spray can to airbrush is intimidating, for sure. Definitely can understand that it feels like scary, kind of, because with an airbrush, you have like a lot of money invested into it, because it's expensive to start out, for sure. Like, you got to get the airbrush and the compressor and your spray booth and all this stuff. You got to get set up and get your paints and everything like that. it's like an investment to get started, and you're really worried, and you hear about all these like different technical things you have to worry about, like air pressure and thinner ratios and things like that, and when your airbrush gets clogged and how to clean it and all that stuff. And you think like you just are nervous because you don't want to mess anything up, because you just invested all this money into it, and if you don't follow all the steps right, then you're just gonna like mess up your airbrush and be like demoralized, and then like lose all your motivation for painting, right? Um, I've been there, and I'm sure, I couldn't say for everyone, but I'm sure a lot of people have been there as well when you do make that transition. Um, but, you know, like anything, you just kind of have to just go for it. And I think what I found out is that airbrushing is a lot easier than you think. It's a lot easier than I think it's, not that it's made out to be, because I don't think anyone really makes it out to be hard, but it like seems like more complicated than it really is. And I mean, you can be one of those people who like is an actual like well-informed person about airbrushing, where like I can do it, but I wouldn't really call myself anything close to being professional. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just am able to do it to make it work for me. But if someone asked me some technical question about something about the airbrush, I don't know anything technical about it, or like comparisons between different models, different brands of airbrush, I don't know. I just use what I use, and it works for me, and so that's kind of all I really know. That's one reason why I haven't done a like proper like airbrush tutorial video, because I'm just not really that knowledgeable in it. So you're far better off going for like an airbrush. Really, to be honest, probably one of the best people I would recommend you guys to watch if you're interested in tutorials and videos about different airbrushing techniques and products and cleaning your airbrush and things like that is Man. He has a bunch of videos on his channel about all about that kind of stuff, testing different airbrushes, and especially if you're like interested in like testing out like just some like cheap, simple, like no-name brand airbrush. I know he's got like multiple videos on that, like testing out different ones, things like that. So he's a really knowledgeable guy about that kind of stuff. So that'd be Alan at his channel, Man. So check that out if you're interested in that kind of thing. But yeah, let me just refer back to I think I may have missed kind of like the crux of your question a little bit. But anyway, how easy is the transition? So anyway, yeah, the point is, the transition is pretty easy. You get the hang of it pretty quickly. I mean, yeah, just like I said, this seems a little bit intimidating at first, but it really doesn't take all that long to get used to it. Just do your homework, figure out what you need, figure out just like the basic steps, what you need to do, and just kind of go for it. Make sure you have proper ventilation and a mask. Even if you're using acrylic paint, still just might as well just wear a mask just in case, because it's still paint. Don't forego the safety. Ricardo, you've been busy. Alright, it's all good, Ricardo. Thank you. Just let me know later. It'd be helpful for the video. Alright. Have you heard of... Someone asked, have you heard of Real Steel WRB? I don't know what that is. Wasn't Real Steel that movie? With, who was in that? I can't remember who was in that movie. Someone. There was some big name actor was in that. Who was it? I saw it when it came out. I haven't seen it since then. I saw it when it first came out. Is that what you're talking about? Real Steel? The movie? Yo, you streaming on YouTube now? I honestly like it more than YouTube, but either is fine. You like YouTube more than YouTube? Yeah, okay, it's Hugh Jackman. Okay, I was thinking it was Hugh Jackman, but I thought, really? Was that Hugh Jackman that did that movie? Was it really? But alright, yeah, you guys confirmed it there, yeah, so it actually was Hugh Jackman in that. It's kind of... Hugh Jackman is like the actor who will do anything, but he's like the only one who doesn't get made fun of for like doing anything. Like, so you have other actors like Nicolas Cage or something like that who just like, I mean, and there's other reasons as well, but people are always like just joking about Nicolas Cage, how he'll just like accept any role. I mean, Hugh Jackman's in a whole lot of stuff as well. But hey, he's a busy guy. Still would have to say though, uh, I, what's your guys's favorite Hugh Jackman movie? Let me know down there or over there. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? What's your favorite Hugh Jackman movie? A lot of you maybe are gonna say like Wolverine or something, I guess, but Hugh Jackman is actually the star in one of my favorite all-time favorite movies. Well, let's see if any of you guys can guess it. Guess what is one of my all-time favorite movies, which also stars Hugh Jackman? Alex, you like him in Les Miserables? That was pretty good, actually. I'm not really a big fan of musicals in general, usually, but I actually quite enjoyed that. I think I've only just watched it just the one time when I saw it originally, but I could go for watching that again, actually. But that's not it. And it's not The Prestige. It's not Kate and Leopold. I don't think I've ever even actually seen that. It's not The Prestige, and it's definitely not My Little Pony. Ricardo, you're going to send me a 500-word essay? All right, cool, man. Much appreciated. I'll definitely credit you in the video. Swordfish? No. Is he in Swordfish? Ding dong dang. Ascension Industries got it. It's The Fountain. Ascension, good call there, man. I see you're also a man of culture. Yep. It's The Fountain. You guys know I love The Fountain. Darren Aronofsky's my dude. Very underrated director, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, he's pretty well known now, but especially like at the start, I think he was doing like his movies were not really like all that well known or that well much appreciated. Yeah, I think they're quite widely misunderstood, especially The Fountain. But that may be a conversation for a different day. His first film, Pi, is one of my all-time favorites. Yeah, Pi is really good as well. I think among his early movies, like Pi was kind of like a cult hit, but then obviously, that's totally drawing a blank. What's the other one? What's the when he did it right after Pi with Jared Leto? What is it? Totally drawing a blank on the name of the movie. I actually don't really like it as much. Help me out. What's that? I always do this. I can't use my brain really well while I'm chatting with you guys and also building something. It's like it's just too much for me to process. Come on, please. Don't leave me hanging here. It's right on the tip of my tongue. What's that movie called? Requiem for a Dream. Thank you. There it is. Requiem for a Dream, I like, and like I see what he was going for. but it's just a hard movie to watch, so I don't really enjoy watching it quite as much. Uh, uh, The Fountain is a movie I can watch like pretty much anytime. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I think with more so with like his first like maybe I would say 5 or 6 movies. I think, in my opinion, and I haven't read or seen enough like interviews with him to see if like he's ever actually talked about this before. So if this is actually true, but this is just like kind of my interpretation of his movies when I watch them, is that uh, I feel like he is going for like one particular issue in a film. So like with Requiem for a Dream, obviously it's like drug use, and but his films are usually also like always about obsession, right? And so they're like different forms of like obsession. We have Requiem for a Dream is like obsession with like addiction, with drugs, and Pi about like obsession to like obviously the number pi and just like, but I think it's more to like conspiracy theories and stuff, or just like that whole kind of like psychosis. Uh, the Fountain, though, I think, just deals with the obsession of death, and so I think it's like well interesting. What's this part going here? And I think Black Swan as well is another good example of that, about like obsession and dedication to art, like being obsessed with your art and like how taxing that is on your just body and soul and mind and everything. So like anyone who's like a real like super dedicated artist, I think can like relate to that in some way. Not saying that I'm like this like amazing super dedicated artist or something like that, but to whatever degree that I am some sort of artist, I can. That's my interpretation of what I see in that movie. I quite like Black Swan as well. Whiplash is another good example of the topic. Yeah, Whiplash is along kind of similar vein, kind of to that. Like and you could see that. Mm. And of course, we can't talk about appreciation of Darren Aronofsky films without talking about the music. I think, as Alex said, Alex, you said you liked the soundtrack for Requiem for a Dream. That's a pretty intense one for sure. Gotta say, I love the Fountain soundtrack myself, but again, it's just because that's my favorite. Lux Eterna. I'm drawing a blank now again. I can't really think, but what's the name of the composer that he always works with? It's like the same guy. Clint Mansell. There you go. Get my brain to work there for a moment. Clint Mansell is just amazing. The soundtrack to The Fountain is just, dang, it's good. just like relentless. I mean, it goes well. I mean, it goes along with like what I'm talking about, what I perceive to be kind of the theme of his films. So I think the soundtracks are usually really well done. And Clint Mansell also did the soundtrack for Moon, which is another soundtrack that I really liked. I really liked the movie as well. I really enjoyed Moon, and the soundtrack was really good as well. I don't know what Clint Mansell has done more recently, though. Can you guys know? I have to check his IMDb page or something like that, but are you guys also fans of that film, Moon? It's quite good. Quite interesting. I thought it was quite unique. Unique take on a guy stuck in space motif. And Sam Rockwell was dang good in that too. I've seen it now probably many times. Haven't watched it very recently though. So there you go. There's what kind of like the front part there. You had to put a couple stickers there for the lining of that, unfortunately, but nothing too serious. Now on these bits here, we got some stickers for these as well. So these bits in here. Saw Sam Rockwell drinking a beer at my last job. That's pretty interesting. And speaking of other just Darren Aronofsky films, while we linger on the topic, I really quite enjoyed The Wrestler as well. And man, really wanted to see Mickey Rourke win the Oscar for that, and was pretty disappointed that once again the actor in the movie that I really enjoyed and the actor who I really enjoyed got beat by fucking what's his name, Sean Penn. So I hate Sean Penn. It's actor stealing. Son of a bitch. Sean Penn stole the Oscar from my man Bill Murray, first off, and then stole the Oscar from Mickey Rourke. Asshole. Hate Sean Penn. That said, I did like Sean Penn, and I liked him about as much as I possibly could like him. In that movie, what was that movie out not too long ago? I think it was with Ben Stiller, wasn't it? Where Ben Stiller was like this dude having a midlife crisis or something, and it goes up into the mountain or something and meets Sean Penn there, and Sean Penn is like basically like playing himself. It's just this like guy, this dude up on the mountain, like he's like a photographer or something. What was that movie? The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Wasn't that it? Sean Penn was alright in that movie. I'll give him credit. I wasn't totally put off by him in that one. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Steve? To be fair, Sean Penn did well in Tree of Life. Whatever. Everyone knows Sean Penn is a good actor. But where is the Oscar for Bill Murray? I will not stand for waiting until Bill Murray's dead and the Academy giving him like a posthumously, is that right? Like lifetime achievement Oscar or something like that. No, I want to see him get an Oscar while he's alive. And Mickey Rourke fell back into oblivion. Like, that was his like return to triumph. And then he did like a couple other movies, and like now what's he doing? I don't even know. What has he done recently? But he was so good in The Wrestler, but people say like, oh, he's just playing himself. Whatever, dude. He was good. And same thing with Bill Murray. Bill Murray, like in Lost in Translation, everyone says like he's just playing himself. The movie was so good. But whatever. Bill Murray knocks it out of the park with Lost in Translation. People say he's just playing himself. But then Sean Penn won. I can't remember what I think he won for Mystic River that year, if I remember correctly. Sean Penn, good actor. I'll give him that, of course. But where Bill Murray was just acting in the film by himself, Sean Penn is like acting all the other times. Like if you ever watch like interviews with Sean Penn, it's so annoying. You see, he's just like trying so hard to be this fucking cool guy. Like, dude, just chill out. You're a good actor, and you're a good like activist. Just like be cool, dude. Don't have to be like America's ultimate badass. Thinks he's like a little bit too cool, in my opinion. Sofia Coppola is a drug for artsy folks. Yeah, I don't know. My best friend, or like one of my best friends in college, like one of his favorite movies was, what's the Sofia Coppola movie? Suicide, what is it? Suicide, was it? It's not Suicide Club, that's the Japanese movie. Pretty wild movie if you guys are into like Japanese horror films. Suicide Club is a pretty weird one. Well, what's that? What's the Sofia Coppola movie? Suicide. What is it? Suicide Kings? No, that's not it. Suicide Squad? No, Ricardo, it's not that. What is it? Damn you guys. Suicide Squad. The Virgin Suicides. Thank you, J.A. and Key. Virgin Suicides. Thank you. Yeah. I didn't really like that one as much, man. Loved Lost in Translation, but didn't really care all that much for Virgin Suicides. It was a little bit too kind of for me. That one did also seem it was a little bit of a try hard film. It was trying a little bit too hard to be a little bit too something. But yeah, I wasn't really into that quite as much. But one of my good friends loved that movie when we were in college. But he was like that. I think that movie fit his personality. Not that like he was suicidal, but I mean, he was like that. Oh my gosh, Merp Jake. That is such a random question. Okay, on YouTube there, Merp Jake asked me if I've ever seen Session 9. The just the fact that you asked that question kind of freaks me out a little bit because that's such an obscure movie to just ask out of nowhere because we weren't even on the topic of horror movies and just suddenly ask me if I've seen Session 9 and Session 9 was such a random movie to ask about. But yes, I have seen that many times and it is so scary. It is incredibly scary. The fact that it's so low budget is like what makes it so scary. Man, that movie is scary. Dang. If you guys have never seen that, I highly recommend you watch it. Yeah, like just a friend of mine and I don't know, we just like rented it randomly or something like that. We were just looking for a horror movie to rent or something. And we rented it. And man, that movie messed me up. After watching that, I was scared. Yeah, it gets to you. So that was like a joke. So that was like a joke after watching that movie. Me and my friend who we watched it together, we would always it's like joke to each other about the do it Gordon thing to each other. We always be doing that to each other after that. If you guys have never seen it, I don't really want to give it away, but it's basically just about this like asbestos cleaning crew who are cleaning the asbestos out of this old abandoned like mental hospital facility. So I mean, it seems kind of generic, right? I mean, you could imagine they're there and they hear some like spooky ghosts and things like that, but no, it's pretty crazy. And yeah, it's like a low budget kind of like indie like horror movie, I guess. I don't know exactly how. I don't really watch a whole lot of horror movies to be honest. Uh, so like I don't really know exactly how you would classify that. But yeah, if you can get a hold of it, if you like that kind of movie, then yeah, I would recommend checking it out. Session 9, man, that's really weird that you would even ask. Why did you ask that? uh, Good one to bring up because that's definitely one that definitely left a mark. But man, that's a random one. Interesting that you brought that up. Good night, man, there in Singapore. Chua Junrong, I'm not exactly sure how to go about that name, but thank you. Yeah, man, if you're interested, yeah, check it out. Watch it by yourself in the dark. I know that's how people usually like to watch horror movies. I guess. Any fans of Tetsuo the Iron Man? I've actually never seen that. I think I downloaded it, and I may still have it on a hard drive somewhere. But I never got around to watching it. But that was like also ages ago when I was in college, so 10 years ago or so, or yeah, probably 10, 11 years ago. So it's one of those very unique Japanese horror kind of films. A little bit sort of like genre bending films. A little bit. It's kind of like horror. It has like horror elements, but it's also just kind of like a sci-fi kind of thing, right? Right. Anyway. It's good, but really weird. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would expect. I've seen not really all that many, but I've seen enough weird Japanese horror films to probably not really ever watch any more again. I think I don't really need to watch anymore at this point. But man, there's what's that one? The Audition. That was another crazy one. some of those are just hard to watch, dude. I can't even imagine like making that movie, like making some of those movies. Like some of the ones that are like really over the top, you gotta imagine that like they're just probably having fun with it, like while they're making it. But some of them, man, dang. Have I seen Burning? No, I haven't seen Burning. I've never even heard of that. Name doesn't ring a bell. I haven't seen that. What's that other? I'm trying to remember this other Japanese horror movie. Like if I remember correctly, like the cover of like the DVD cover of the movie, or like the cover of the film was like this like it's like just like red and black cover with like a bull head on it. And it's like it's from a scene in the movie. It's like some like horror, like trippy scene with like a bull head or something. Pretty crazy. What's that movie? That was a really weird one too. If you guys, if any of you know it, can't remember the name offhand. Anyone? Anyone? 2LDK was another crazy one too. The roommates. It's basically just a movie about two roommates fighting each other to the death. It's crazy. Two girls. Hey me? Steve, are you trying to answer my question about the Bullhead movie? I don't think... Hey me? That doesn't sound familiar. I don't think that's right. Doesn't sound right anyway. But just out of curiosity, because I don't know if... I know I'm not being very descriptive, so I'm probably not helping you guys out at all. So I'm gonna try to Google it real fast to see if I can come up with it. Oh, she's a character from Burning. Okay, sorry. If you guys want some quality Korean movies, you need to check out my man Kim Ki-duk. He's awesome. I think he's probably most well known. I don't know. There's a few he's maybe mostly well known for, but like Spring, Summer, Fall, Winter, and Spring was probably one of the most famous ones. But I also really like Bad Guy. It's also quite good. I think the Korean title is just exactly. I think it's just like Napunnom or something anyway. That's also quite good. Alex, have you ever seen any or many Kim Ki-duk movies? Gozu. That's what it is. Thank you. Yeah. Anis. Yeah, the bullhead weird Japanese horror movie that I was trying to think of is Gozu. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Right. That was a pretty crazy one. Yeah, bullhead red poster. Yeah, it's gotta be Gozu. That's it. Yep. Thank you for that. Yeah. Three Iron, obviously a classic. Yeah, Three Iron is really good too. That's probably one of my favorite ones from his as well. Also really like a lot of Bong Joon-ho movies. Korean director Bong Joon-ho. He's also really awesome. Probably one of my favorite things from Bong Joon-ho, though, is not actually a full movie, but it was his part in the movie Tokyo. It's Tokyo is actually, it's just a collection of 3 short stories, and each one is done by a different director. And Bong Joon-ho, the Korean director, did one of them. And I really like his entry in that movie. They're not really horror or anything. But yeah. Okja was really good, yeah. Steve. Yeah, Okja was quite good. I watched that sometime last year with my wife. We watched that. That was pretty good. But yeah, Bong Joon-ho too. Also, I think a lot of you guys might be familiar with his movie. I think the English name is just Monster, isn't it? Just takes place in Seoul with like this weird monster thing like living in the river in Seoul. That's pretty good. But yeah, Tokyo. If you guys have never seen that, it's quite good. The other 2 shorts I actually don't really like all that much, but yeah, The Host. Okay, that's what it is, right. Thank you, Alex. The Host was the English title. Yeah, The Host, right. That is pretty good. But yeah, the other 2 parts of Tokyo I didn't really like as much, but Bong Joon-ho's part is really good. I like it a lot. Speed Runners S and Y. What's up, Simon? Simon, you may have watched that. Did you see? Did you ever watch Tokyo? The short film movie came out. When did that come out? 2009, maybe. Can you fit all that? Shut. You guys are talking about Love, Death, and Robots. I've seen people talking about Love, Death, and Robots, but I have not seen it. I actually don't even know what it is at all. I haven't taken the time to look into it, but lately I've been seeing people talking about it. So, must be pretty interesting. Can I fit all this into a shot? The Neo's young, I mean, yeah. I've been hooked on the OA. Even other tubers. So I thought these did not come out from them. Rustbomb said, "Why are you and other tubers getting this kit?" I guess you're talking about me and Mecha Gaikatsu. You thought that this kit doesn't come out for another month. No, it came out. I've seen like someone in Japan had it like even earlier. Love, Death, and Robots is on Netflix. It's an animated short story series. Okay. Sounds interesting enough, I guess. And what was that? Y and X. Given the cost of the new Zeong, how do you feel about the fact that it didn't come with the Psycho Shard parts? Yeah, Cosplay Army. I mentioned that if you saw the unboxing video, I talked about that, how I thought it was pretty dumb how they didn't include the Psycho Shard parts with this. If they're going to have a super big, expensive key Bandai kit like this, and then not just making it also including the Psycho Shard parts. I mean, obviously not included at the same price. I mean, make the kit a little bit more expensive. Whatever, 2,500 yen more expensive, because if people are like that dedicated that they want to pay to have this kit already, then I don't think that it costing a little bit more for including the Psycho Shard parts is going to make people be like, well, I kind of want the kit, but I don't really want those Psycho Shard parts, so I'm going to pass. Don't really see that being an issue, so kind of wish that, yeah, it would have included the Psycho Shard parts, where actually, based on what I've seen of them, and like I've seen maybe just 1 or 2 reviews of them ages ago when they first came out, they don't really look actually that good, it seems like. But I don't know. I wanna get a set and try it out for myself. We'll see. So yeah, the guy in Japan is selling me his. So whatever, if I get it and end up really not liking it, then I'll just probably resell that again as well. Old boy, you guys talking about old boy? Yeah, the old boy. Of the Vengeance trilogy, I know Old Boy is definitely the most famous. Again, we're talking about not the American version, the original Korean version. But I actually kind of prefer Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, which I think is the first one. I think that is before Old Boy, if I remember correctly. Old Boy is the second one, and then the third one is Lady Vengeance. The movies themselves aren't related at all, but they're just part of like the Vengeance trilogy because they are all like a kind of similar theme by the same director. So. But you guys also seen Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance? I like that one a little bit more actually. Doesn't have like the action sequences of Old Boy, but it is also quite good. I think a little bit more like, I don't know, a little bit more like personable story. Yeah. Jeffrey, no, I Saw the Devil. Didn't see that. I want to find a link to this. Let me. While you're building the Massive Beast, I'm currently building the Gundam Death Scythe Hell Custom SDEX. Yeah, a little bit different size there on that one. Mm-hmm. Oh. I'm still thinking about the movie I was talking about before, about Tokyo, the movie that's made up of 3 short films. Just because it didn't seem like anyone in the chat also had maybe not seen that. As I was talking about that, it didn't seem like anyone else was chiming in about that movie. So if you guys haven't seen it, I was looking because I thought the whole segment, each one is about like 20-25 minutes, short films. I think the entire thing was on YouTube before, but I'm looking now and it looks like it's not. But let me see. Let me just share this. I'll just put this in the chat there. You guys can open that in another tab or something and save it and watch that later on. I think that's just a trailer for that part of it. Shaking Tokyo was the Bong Joon-ho's part of that movie. It's about this guy who's hikikomori, and is it the Tokyo exclamation point? Yeah, Simon, that's it. Tokyo with exclamation point. Have you seen that, Simon? French, Japanese, German. Yeah. I think just the one part of it is in French. The other parts are all in Japanese. You're just looking it up on Wiki. Yeah, Simon, check it out. I think you'd like it. But anyway, the part that I like that I'm talking about is it's about this guy who's a hikikomori. Hikikomori are those it's like a word for the people in Japan who are like shut-ins, who like never leave the house. And so this guy is a hikikomori, and there's an earthquake, and the pizza delivery girl who was like delivering his pizza at the time faints while she was delivering his pizza. I don't know. It's a kind of weird, simple, interesting story. It's very mono no aware. You have returned, Ricardo. Okay, cool. Watch. I've returned. That's the life I'd lead in Japan. Ricardo, you would be a modeler, hikikomori. I'm 100% sure that they definitely exist. Winged Wolf asked, how much longer do you plan on streaming? Tonight, maybe about another hour or so, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow. See how far we can get. Hopefully, maybe just 2 streams will be enough to finish, but the arms take a while to build because you got to build 6 of them at the same time. So I don't know. We'll see. We went through like the whole first section there relatively quickly, but that's just the one section. So this kit takes a while to put together, as you might imagine. It's an HG, so it's not the most complicated thing in the world, but still just a lot of parts and very big. It takes a while just to gather all the parts for building a particular section because you have to deal with so many runners. But the build so far is pretty fine, interesting. Actually, like the only really new, like one of the only really new parts of the build is actually what you build first is this front section here. So everything else after this is pretty much going to be the same as the regular original version of the kit for the most part. Are you able to tell us after the Tristan what kit you're working on? Custom build, I mean. No, I haven't quite decided yet. I mean, I am working on a couple other things, but for the next like big project that I want to do like a series of videos on, whether it be Trash to Treasure or something different. I have a couple of ideas. I haven't quite decided yet for sure. I want to finish up a couple of things that I'm working on at the moment, and then we'll see. You hear the legs on that kit are a pain. Yep, the legs on this kit are a pain. For the seam lines anyway. God, the seam lines on the legs on this kit. Whew. That's a pain. What about converting Gunpla into Macross? No, that wouldn't be something I would be interested in doing. It's either going to be like a HG kit bashing and airbrushing kind of tutorial sort of series. Not Trash to Treasure, but just a kind of simple like work in progress / tutorial series. Kind of similar to basically what I did with the Tristan, but not under the premise of Trash to Treasure. Just good kit to different good kit. Or doing another Trash to Treasure. And in which case, I don't know, it might be... I have a few different ideas for the series, where to go for like the next installment. Possibly like fixing up an old 80s kit, or at least making it look better. It's one idea, but I have a few different ideas, so I don't know. We'll see. How about a Gundam marker only challenge? No. No, thank you. Maybe voting for the next Trash to Treasure? Not a bad idea. Yeah. But maybe after about a week or two, once I get a couple other projects finished, then yeah, maybe I'll do like an open poll for people to vote for what the next series should be. It's not a bad idea. Alex to do Studios rematch. You have to ask Alex if he's emotionally healed from the beating the first time, if he's ready for a rematch or not. You can wear red, but I don't know if you really want to be demoralized that bad, Alex. Having me beat you that bad again whilst you're wearing red is going to be pretty embarrassing. Do you just keep all your kits in the boxes behind you after your review? Yes, to answer that question for the 10 millionth time. Yes, after I build the kits, they're back in the box and awaiting being painted. I've got a couple of kits that are out on display on my shelf over there, but that's basically just because I don't have the boxes for them. JFK, welcome to live streaming, answering questions over and over. Yep, pretty much. But it's all good. Two of these. is this X1. We got more parts from X1 a little bit later on. They'd be these two. We're here. Gonna go ahead and grab these now while we're here. We need these for an upcoming step. I'd love to see detailed up kits for those twin kits you reviewed from Wing, the red and blue one. The Mercurius and the Vey. Oh yeah, actually I am working on those. Actually, I'm not planning on making that like a series, but you guys will see probably a couple of work in progress videos on the Mercurius and Vey because I'm using those for another kind of certain side project contest thing, which I'll talk about in a video for that probably pretty soon, next week probably. Hi, all the way from Costa Rica. How's it going? Like airbrush the first Neo Zeong and hand paint this one? Kidding. No, actually, Rauschlam, as I mentioned before, I don't know if you saw earlier when I was talking about my idea for the color scheme for the Neo Zeong, the first one, not this one. I don't know. I don't have any idea for the color scheme for this one. I haven't thought that far ahead. I gotta paint one first. But my color scheme for the original one, if you missed that part of the chat earlier, is that I want to do like a Mac K color scheme for it. So yeah, probably will be hand brushing that one actually. That will take a while, for sure. But that kind of is my idea for it at the moment. What was that? What do I need? X116W2. Yeah, hand painting the Neo Zeong will be a chore. But I figure if Max Watanabe can hand paint the 120 scale Gerwalk kit, which was huge, then I can do this. I mean, it's just going to be really time consuming, yeah. And I'm no Max, but it'll look cool anyway, so. You gotta do what you gotta do for the results. Alright, X116. X116. That one there. Hello, can you maybe please show me your side cutter? Here. USA Gundam Store side cutters, baby. Get yours today. USAGundamStore.com. WA, WH, SCT. And these as well. Let's see. No discount code? You can use the discount code. Of course. Why do you even ask that? Zacorilius10. Get your pair of USA Gundam Store nippers today. They are really good though. Alex, you still haven't seen Battle Royale? And you claim to be a Hunger Games fan and you haven't watched Battle Royale? The original Hunger Games? That is just sad. Ricardo, leave Alex. Yeah. Alex, I really appreciate you moderating the chat, but if you want to leave to go watch Battle Royale, that would be just fine. Diego, 10% discount is nothing. Alright, don't use it then. Sorry. But if I find out you ordered something and you use that 10% discount code, then you're in big trouble, mister. Jax the Reaper, what's that? I just want to say thank you for what you do. You inspire me to get into Gunpla. I came over from building military model kits. I started with the Master Grade Sazvi Verka and it turned out great. Well, you picked a really good kit to start off with. Master Grade Sazvi Verka. And welcome. %. Dude, sorry. $10 will get you lunch, bro. Still eating the chicken from earlier there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, fair point, 10% is not that much, but I mean, it is better than 0, and they don't have to give any discount codes at all. I mean, their USA Gundam Store's prices are already very reasonable, and it's a really competitive market. I mean, it's a handful of stores already competing for a very niche hobby, and having to compete with like huge stores like Amazon and even HLJ. So any extra discount that they're giving, I think is good on them, right? So there you go. And their service is good. Annas, that's a good point. Couple more parts here to cut off for the learners, and then we can get back to actually putting some stuff together here after we work on some nubs. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, a lot of the reason why it takes so long to build this kit is just getting all the parts you need, having to go around through all the runners and everything. Chain Co, where do I live? I live in South Korea. In the dirty South. The dirty, dirty. You guys are talking about chicken. I'm pretty hungry. I've been doing this diet. It's not really that much of a diet. It's basically where you eat only during 8 hours of the day, and the other 16 hours you don't eat anything. And so basically I just don't eat breakfast. That's the thing. And then I just eat lunch and dinner. And don't eat anything like at night, at this time at night. So it's not really all that complicated. But anyway, sometimes I do enjoy a good late night snack. And that's probably the hardest part. Like I also really enjoy breakfast. So I mean, I usually don't really eat anything too much for breakfast. I just have like cereal or something, but I really like cereal. So it's hard not eating cereal. It's hard not eating breakfast in the morning. But like it's fine because I'm usually pretty busy like getting ready in the morning anyway, like helping get the kids ready before I have to get off to school, to work. But at night is harder. Like when I'm working like this or something, I'm kind of like fiending for a snack. And just thinking like, can't have a snack. It's tough, man. Everybody, let's see some F's in the chat for my sad state, inability to have a snack. You remember me in school. 후성. 이후성. 누구냐? 내 학생이야? 이후성 한국말로 해봐요. 아니면 if you can type in English, that's fine too. 어제도 보고 있었어? Are you the student who was watching yesterday? I don't remember. I think, Alex, you said the name of the student who was watching yesterday, right? But I don't remember. Who was that? Different kid? Okay. What did you say? Same kid from yesterday. 무슨 뭐라고요? I remember you in school. So maybe previous student or graduated student, I imagine, maybe. Middle school or high school now currently, maybe. 후성아. 후성아 어딨어? 용당초? 도사초? 어디 학교? 지금 몇 년? 지금 뭐 중학교, 대학교, 중학교, 고등학교? Guys, do not call me oppa. That is high school. 용당초 갔어? It's good to see me in here. Well, I don't know who you are because I don't recognize your name. But if I saw you, I'm sure I'd recognize you. 용당초. 그래. 왜 안 자니? 내일 학교 가야지. 왜 안 자? 이제 고등학교 2학년, 3학년, 1학년? Alex, no, it's not. It's not that good. The limited amount that you're hearing is fine, but my vocabulary is still awful. Alex, you do not need to study more. Your Korean is way better than mine. I don't know why you're even comparing that. Alright, there's all the parts for this step. Let's build some. What the hell? Maybe like a avalanche of boxes underneath the desk here. Sophomore. Sophomore doesn't really work in the Korean school system because the sophomore is based on a 4-year system. Yeah. 2학년? 그러면 kind of tricky to get these shoulder joints up inside there. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, just to explain the context a little bit. Yeah, Korean high school is 3 years. Middle school is 3 years. High school is 3 years. It's a little bit different. I think some, depending on where you live in America, some places are like that. I think maybe it depends. But I think generally, high school is usually 4 years. Or anyone living in the States anyway. I don't know how it is in other countries as well, but. Hey man, I just want to drop by before I head to bed. I can't believe you're building this monster. What's up, Crow? How's it going, dude? He says he wants to meet up with you if he has the chance. Could I? No, I don't know. Not sure how. 뭐만 하고 싶어요? Blood Raven asks, what did I actually major in? I majored in digital filmmaking. So when it came to starting my YouTube channel, I at least already had a grasp on the editing. Not that I really do all that much of it in my videos. My editing is pretty basic. But it did start off with that slight advantage. Will I ever make a movie? I'm Brad for. Simon, I did make a movie as my senior thesis in college. Oh shoot, I missed a couple parts here. W-A and W-H. For my senior thesis, I made a full-length film. I haven't made anything really of length since then. You definitely have not seen it. Simon. Shut up, dude. You uploaded something you did in college. Yeah, I've got some stuff uploaded on a different channel. But we don't have that one. Not in its full length. I've been meaning to put the whole thing on YouTube. It's not bad. It's not good by any means. I think it was an interesting concept that I did for it anyway. I did it about a guy. It's about a guy who's just kind of who's in the process of, or like just about to be like moving away from his hometown, but like just before he's leaving his city where he's living in, he like keeps randomly seeing the same girl around, that he's like interested in. He's like wants to meet her, but he's like talking about this girl to like all his friends that he keeps seeing around. But he's like just about to move. So he's like faced with this sort of dilemma, but it's never like gone into he never says anything like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna move because I want to meet this girl." It's not like obvious. One of the things that I wanted to do with the writing of it was actually I was taking a lot of inspiration from Kim Ki-duk, like trying to say as much as possible with the least amount of dialogue as possible. So like a lot of it is just left up to interpretation. So like how he like feels about the situation. There's not like a ton of dialogue in it. But anyway, but you get the idea that he's considering if he's like having kind of second thoughts about moving away because he suddenly keeps seeing this girl that he was interested in. But then the sightings of the girl get to be a little bit strange in that it kind of, you as the viewer kind of question if she's really real or not. So that's kind of like, not twist, but that's kind of like the angle to it. So you can't really, it's not really clear if she's really real or just like a figment of his imagination about being like scared or nervous about moving away from his hometown, that kind of thing. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense at all? I'm not really explaining it very well, but it's a kind of simple thing, just I don't know, not really the easiest thing to explain, I guess. But yeah, it was interesting. And basically just did everything by myself. So like did all the location scouting and writing, and I was taking a lot of inspiration from the writing style of like having very little dialogue and just trying to show a lot of like the emotion and everything all just through like the visual of everything. A lot of that inspiration came from Kim Ki-duk, Korean director. But also took a lot of inspiration from Kiyoshi Kurosawa, the Japanese independent filmmaker. Really like his one of my favorite movies is Bright Future. If you guys have ever seen that, they're really good, like independent Japanese movie. Bright Future is really good. Or Hirokazu Koreeda, another really great Japanese like independent filmmaker. I really like. So if any of this is of interest to any of you guys, make a note of these names and check them out if you're interested in like Japanese movies. But so I was studying a lot about different like filmmaking kind of philosophies of these Japanese filmmakers, and also like Ozu as well. With the, I mentioned this earlier, the Mono no Aware. Mono no Aware is a kind of like storytelling theory of where you don't really have like a big climax that you're really building to. It's kind of like where nothing really actually happens. Basically, what you're seeing is just the passing of time. You're just seeing a segment of like a real life where there's not actually some like big dramatic element to it, but you're just focusing on just like the capturing like kind of the realism of real life. Is that Ame no Aware? I don't know about Ame no Aware, the Mono no Aware, the transience of things. I haven't heard Ame no Aware. I don't know what that is, if that's related at all, but yeah, Bright Future is a really good example. The Taste of Tea is another really good one. I love that movie a lot as well. So took a lot of inspiration from those movies and similar ones along those lines in terms of like the visual style as well, and also like utilizing natural light, using the fact that like from like the real like the realism or like the real fact that it's a low budget movie, like you're making the movie on a low budget, like utilizing that as a tool or like utilizing that as a kind of feature to make the movie more realistic. Have I seen Fireworks? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have seen that. I think maybe just once. I don't remember well, but I'm pretty sure I did see that while in college as well. If you guys have ever, if you guys are Evangelion fans, you know the creator of Evangelion, Hideaki Anno, also made a couple of live-action movies before that as well. Shikijutsu and Love and Pop. Love and Pop was also a really good inspiration as well. That one, I'm pretty sure, last I checked, is you can watch the full movie on YouTube. Love and Pop is really interesting just from a filmmaking perspective. Interesting story as well, like if you're interested in like the Japanese culture, especially like deep Japanese culture, modern culture stuff. But Love and Pop is really interesting. Doesn't really have all the religious symbolism that Evangelion has, but you can kind of maybe get some similarities in Anno's style. Shikijutsu I didn't really like quite as much. I think I watched it like once, and I didn't ever watch it again after that. But Love and Pop I've seen a few times. Yeah, Simon, I'll maybe shoot you some recommendations in the group chat or something later on. You can make a note of it. It's been a while though. I used to watch those movies, those kind of movies, especially like Japanese indie movies, things like that. I used to watch a lot when I was in university and like studying them, usually actually like using that. like for my work at the time, like my artwork. But these days, I don't really watch that kind of movie as much, just because they require your full attention to watch foreign movies where you have to read subtitles. You can't multitask and like build and watch that at the same time. So I don't really watch a lot of foreign movies these days. All right, we got these big old carts here. These giant, like, Super Star Destroyer looking parts here. I thought if anyone was like mad lad enough to buy one of these kits to use just for kit bash material, these parts here would be pretty dope to use as just like for like some massive ship or something. You could definitely turn these bits into like just a like scale spaceship model, like some Star Wars looking kind of design or something. Alright, look at the size of this thing. It is a lot of plastic. You can get an idea of why the kit is so expensive. It's a lot of plastic in here. If I can get that all sandwiched together nicely, there we go. Very huge. Whew. Alex, you're watching Battle Royale now. Okay, cool. Yeah, not as huge as the butt flap, that's for sure. Hey, speaking of which, I just thought of this. Earlier, you guys were asking me about what my next like Trash to Treasure or next like series project is going to be, and you actually kind of already got a hint of what one of the options might be in my video not too long ago about the I got the delivery from the Japanese proxy site Neokyo. In that box of stuff that I got from Neokyo, the kits that I got in there, I said were for a specific project that I had in mind that I wanted to do. And if you saw what kits that I got in there, you could probably get an idea about what the project is that I want to do for the Kit Bash HG project. That's all I'm going to say. But it's not that hard to figure out, I think. Whoa. The Dom? No, not the Dom. I didn't get the Dom in that set, in that box. 1 and 2, yeah. This video would have been like a week or so ago. Not that long ago. Where did I find, Sean asked, where did I find the Vea and Mercurius kits? I've had those forever, dude. I've had them for probably like 10 years or something. So I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I bought them in Japan. So it's been a while. Do you have the first ever Gunpla created? Do I have the first kit, which would be like the way old, like original R782 kit? No, I surely don't. If that's what we're talking about. Or if you're asking me if I have my first kit that I made. In that case, yes I do, but I don't have it here with me. It's at my parents' house. X1, X2... Man, we do certainly still have a lot of parts to go through. What was my first kit? Pretty certain my first kit was the non-grade 1/100 scale, or it was the HG 100 scale Shenlong Gundam from Gundam Wing. WA. Alright. I actually really like the HG kits. They fit better on my shelves. Yeah. Well, this is an HG too. Probably not going to fit very well on most shelves though. I mean, what was it? Simon, if you're still watching, you might remember this. Or Alex, you might remember from the past episode of Gunpla Talk when we had Win on not too long ago. And Win was talking about how to make like last year, Bandai asked him to make a kit for their display, like for past GBWC winners. They asked a few of them to make kits for their display, whatever, for GBWC. And basically, they just asked him what he needed, and he just, and I think that was when he said he wanted like the 7 PG Astray Red Frame Kai's kits, whatever. You guys remember that? Simon and or Alex and or anyone else who normally watches Gunpla Talk. Anyway, so the thing is that he's a, for any of you guys who didn't see that, Win is a past GBWC winner, and they sometimes ask the past winners to make new projects just for them to have on display from the past winners like that. And basically they just asked him what he needs, and he just had to basically give them a list of whatever kits he wanted to use, and they would give them to him. Yeah. No pay though, which is pretty dumb. But yeah, man. So he asked for 7. I think it was 7, something like that. PG Stray Kais. You should ask for a few of these. I know he has one, but just to have for the kit bash parts. It's pretty insane. Seems built with Venom base, the Gladiator fighting the Medusa. Yeah. Deafening. Do you earn from doing YouTube videos? Do I earn what? I imagine you're asking me if I earn money from doing YouTube videos. Is that in fact what you're asking? In which case, I'm pretty sure you guys. This is, what's this? Oh yeah. Damn it. Putting that part in the wrong way. I kind of messed that part up a little bit there. Pay attention to the manual, guys. What were we talking about anyway? Yes, I meant money. Of course. I don't know if maybe you use ad blocker or something, so maybe you don't notice that my videos are monetized. But yeah, my videos are monetized, and so yes, I do earn some money from YouTube. As anyone who does will tell you that you don't get a lot of money for it. But it's a little bit. It helps, especially when you have a family. Every little bit helps. YouTube Premium for you, eh? Well, alright. I'm just too lazy to install ad blocker, really, to be honest. I think we'll get a Gundam Astaroth in Converge form soon, since the Vertigo is in the set that just got announced. Winged Wolf, it's possible, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Converge gets some really random stuff in there sometimes, but they do tend to go through series. Like they went through all like the Endless Waltz wing mobile suits, right? not too long ago. And so yeah, I don't know, it's very likely they'll go through some more X kits. X designs, I should say, not really kits, figures. Figures from Gundam X. In the conversion line. Hello, Zaku. Always wanted to say hello to you. Super excited I found your Twitch. Belmont, hello. Thank you for saying hello. I think, well, we'll see. Where are we going here? Well, we'll build a little bit more. I was saying might finish up the stream after putting this part together, but we'll see. We'll maybe do one more little section after this. Do seem to be losing my voice a little bit. So that could be a problem. Do the proportions on the new MG RX 178 Mark II Titans look weird to you? Dresser? Are you talking about the 2.0 Gundam Mark II? It's not really new, but it's newer than the original, I guess, if you're talking about the Master Grade Mark II. But anyway, no, I've never really thought the proportions looked weird to me. But then again, I've never built the kit, and I've never really looked at it really all that closely. Not a super big fan of the design of the Mark II. I really enjoyed the real grade, but I've never built the Master Grade, actually. Either the 1.0 or the 2.0. Do I have any tips for building the Master Grade Freedom 2.0? Nope. No tips. Just enjoy the build. It's a fun build. It's a really nice kit. I'm sure you'll love it. Just follow the instructions. Our Super Star Destroyer now has a top on it there. It opens up. Yum. Don't break the wing like Zach did. What kit? I didn't break the wing on any kit. I broke the wing on the RG Build Strike while recording the review, if you guys remember that. If not, go back and check out my review of the RG Build Strike. I snapped one of the little winglets by touching it wrong. Do you like my beard there? David asks, do you have any kit bash ideas with the 30-minute challenge kits? I'm actually, well, to answer your question, no. I don't have any ideas for kit bashes with them because I don't know if I'm really that interested in getting any of the 30-minute mission kits because I don't really like the look of them that much. At first, I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And like the more that I look at them, the more I think they just look like Bionicle or something, like not really all that interested. At first, obviously, they give the vibe of like frame arms or something. Obviously, that's what everyone's comparing them to. So that does seem to be kind of at least a little bit of what seems to be some of the inspiration for the design. Ft2, thank you for that. Much appreciated. Little tip there. In euros. Never been to Europe, actually. I really want to go to Greece, though. Goro asks, "Are you getting the MG H2 Magnum?" No, I'm not. Didn't get it, and not planning on getting it. I'm sure it's a great kit, but I have the regular H2. I have the regular Masquerade H2, and I have the HG version of that, and that's kind of enough for me. I really don't need or really have that much desire to get the Masquerade version of it. I like the design, and I like the HG, so I'm just kind of happy with the HG. So I passed on the MG of that guy. And I just reviewed the regular H2. Actually, the H2 that I reviewed was the Special Forces version, but it's only just a different color. Not too long ago, only like a few months ago. So I still have a very recent opinion on the kit in general already on my channel. So. Oh man. Just suddenly realizing the fact that disassembling this kit for painting is going to really be hard. Some of these parts just like big and fit together so tightly because they have to, for like just for stability reasons, just for how big and heavy everything is. Everything's got to fit really nice and tight, but it's gonna make taking it apart really a sad time. Gonna have to be doing like a lot of prying, a lot of drilling out parts to get stuff to come apart without breaking everything in the process. There we go, there are the massive shoulder units. Now we can plug these onto the side of the body. It's getting pretty big. How do I look? Diego asked me if I have any tips on building the RG Sazabi. I don't have any tips on building any specific kits that I can think of. Because 99.99% of kits probably don't require any specific tips to build them. There may be one or two or something kits out there that it would be helpful for you to know some problem issue in advance before building it. But most kits don't really have any issues like that, so as long as you can follow the manual, you'll be totally fine. I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's late enough. I was thinking about maybe starting on the next section here, but that's pretty much all of the upper body, like the upper part of it done. And then the next part is starting to move on to like the waist part. So why don't we build that tomorrow? We'll build like the waist section and the fuel tanks and the base. And then we might have to go into then a third day for building the arms if we want. Because building the arms will take a while, like I said, because there's 6 of them. Or not, I don't know. The Shinenju Stein I'm not going to build live because I already built the kit live. So I'm just going to build that. I am going to build it again. I could just use the kit that I already have built, but I am going to build it again, but I'm just going to do that later on, off screen. Yeah, one more day of streaming this guy. Tomorrow we'll build the waist section, and then another day after that to build the arms, or not, just build the arms off camera. What do you guys think? Anyway, that's it for today. This is basically the new section of this, what's different about this kit from the original version, so you can kind of already get an idea of that. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for those of you who have been hanging out in the chat, and good discussion today. I always enjoy talking about movies, so hopefully that was interesting for some of you guys as well. I imagine probably some of you guys had no idea what we were talking about a lot of the times, because we were talking about some pretty obscure foreign films that maybe not a lot of you guys have maybe seen, but that's okay. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Tomorrow we'll be unboxing and review of the Korobukiya Hatsune Miku kit, the frame music girl, not frame arms girl, frame music girl Miku kit, and then after that, a book review video of this Smack K book. So that's what I've got coming up next. And then, yeah, aside from streaming this, the next kits that are going to be stream building will be the Ultraman 7.5 and the Narrative Gundam C-Packs. Thank you. So thank you guys again, and thank you to you guys for the support. I'll see you probably tomorrow around the same time. Bye-bye. Good night.